Hi everyone, this is Heather Lockton from the Flourish.Academy. This is episode 453. Today we're talking about insurance, and a few things happened recently that prompted me to do this video. Number one, I got an email from PPA, that's the Professional Photographers Association, that my account was up for renewal. So I need to renew my PPA account, and I've been a PPA member for 100 years. I don't know, a lot of years. And I love them and I support them, and I think that you should be a member as well. But also at the same time, in the FA community group, which you should be a member of, I'll post the link below. It's free. One of my friends was asking about equipment insurance and what all of us had for that type of insurance. Okay, so let's start with the very basic. Let's say you are a hobbyist, you're not a professional, you love photography, you have some gear. Do you need insurance? The answer to that is yes, you do, but you don't need a professional policy. What you can do is call your homeowner's insurance or your renter's insurance and explain to them that you are an avid hobbyist, you have a ton of photography gear, and you would like it to be covered with insurance. And they will happily put together a personal articles policy for you. And it is incredibly inexpensive. I recommend that you do that today, because if something happens to your gear, you will be so happy that you have it insured. So yeah, yes, everyone needs insurance, but even if you're not a professional, hobbyist needs insurance because you've spent money on that gear and you want to make sure it's covered. Okay, stepping into the professional realm, or you're starting to get clients and you maybe don't know them, so these are new cold clients, you have more gear, you should have professional insurance. When you join PPA, and I have it up on my laptop because I need to renew it, it is $323 per year or $27.92 per month, and that includes the Photo Care Basic Equipment Insurance. And I'm going to read to you how this works so that you understand. When you activate your insurance, you have up to $15,000 of coverage available, all paid for by PPA. The basic photo care policy is a secondary policy to other insurance policies you may have. Did you catch that? Secondary. If no other policy exists, it will act as your primary policy when you file a claim. From there, your deductible will be $250 for your first loss, $500 for the second, $750 for the third, so on. Okay. But PPA also offers something called Photo Care Plus, and it says, what's the best equipment insurance option for you? Okay, both of these policies, so Photo Care that comes with being a PPA member, and you should be, $323 per year, it's a no-brainer. You have the basic equipment insurance. And I have this, maybe I'll post this below in the comments, the differences between Photo Care and Photo Care Plus. Because Photo Care Plus adds additional coverage and also an additional cost. So the 323, it says your coverage is up to $15,000. For Photo Care Plus, it's up to $100,000. This is equipment and liability. The cost, as I just said, is included with your 323 PPA, but the Plus will cost you more, but it varies. So there's not a number here. It just varies depending on the amount of coverage that you want. Who is eligible, PPA members, deductibles, we just talked about that. Okay, this is interesting. Loss valuation for basic photo care, it's the actual cash value, that's the depreciated value. So if you had an older camera, like I have a couple old D700s, PPA would say, okay, what could you sell those D700s for? They would not give me the amount that I paid for those D700s. With Photo Care Plus, you have replacement cost value for scheduled property. Now this is different because if I needed to replace a D750, or sorry, my older D700, I would have to buy a D750, which would cost me more than what I could sell the D700 for. So that's a pretty important difference just to make note of. Coverage off premises or on location, yes for both of these. So your insurance goes wherever you go, which is great news because obviously a lot of us are shooting on location many times. So it doesn't matter where you're at, your insurance follows you where you go. Worldwide coverage, computer hardware, yes, that's covered. Theft of equipment, except from unlocked vehicle, is covered. Lock your car. If your car is unlocked and they determine that and your gear was stolen, they will not cover your gear. Theft of equipment from unlocked vehicle, they made a different note of this because in the Photo Care Plus, it is covered. There's a check mark next to it, covered. Drone coverage, not available for basic, but available for plus. Okay, this is a big one for me as a wedding photographer. Coverage for mysterious disappearance is not covered under the basic plan, but it is covered under Photo Care Plus. What is mysterious disappearance? Well, I have a giant suitcase full of gear at a wedding and it's over by the DJ stand or somewhere in the room. I'm photographing a wedding and my bag walks out of the door without me. It was stolen, but there wasn't a break-in and there was no forcible entry. That's classified as a mysterious disappearance. And under the basic coverage, you would not be reimbursed for that. That would just be gone, out the door. Photo Care Plus, it is covered. So it depends on how and where you photograph. So I haven't heard about this recently, but I know years ago there was a rash of thefts in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Big metroplex, tons of weddings, amazing photographers in Dallas, and gear was just walking out of ballrooms left and right. So it can happen. And or if things are stolen from your house and your doors were unlocked and there's no sign of forcible entry, that's classified as mysterious disappearance. It is not covered under the basic policy, but it is under the plus. So if that's important to you, this is why when someone says to me, what type of insurance should I get? I'm going to ask many questions to determine what makes the most sense for you. Where do you shoot? How do you shoot? What are the risks involved? And can you be covered for that? So that's just really important to know. Now, I decided to go with supplemental insurance through State Farm. And I've talked about this on video and in the FA community group. I talked with an agent from State Farm who I'm now friends with, and she covers a lot of photographers. And I listed out the most ridiculous scenarios to her. I said, I just want to know that I'm covered if my gear walks out of a wedding, if somebody trips over my tripod. So liability was important to me. How much liability? If somebody gets injured, if you take someone into the woods and they trip over a tree root and they break their ankle, are you covered for that? Because you would be liable. So where's the responsibility and on what insurance would you claim that? This is pretty important. So I decided again to go with State Farm for supplemental insurance because I didn't want to go with the Photo Care Plus. So I do have Photo Care. I do because I'm a PPA member. But I didn't want to go with Photo Care Plus. I just wanted to have my own insurance agent local that I could talk to. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You would need to talk with PPA to determine your specific needs. And then they would give you a quote in terms of how much that costs. I should have looked. Sorry, to see what I'm paying with State Farm. I'm not sure what that is, but I can get back to you. But PPA at $323 per year or $27.92 a month is a steal. It's fantastic. And being a member of PPA has a ton of other benefits in addition to the insurance. So there's really 3 levels we're looking at here. One is if you are a hobbyist or you're just starting out, you would want to call your homeowner's insurance and ask for a personal articles policy. You would list out your gear, how much it costs, and they would give you a quote. And it's really very inexpensive. Then if you are a professional, you would want to look into becoming a member of PPA. I highly recommend. And then you would need to determine, is the basic equipment coverage through Photo Care enough for you, or do you need to go to Photo Care Plus? And the best way to determine that is to call them or send an email or talk with someone at PPA and see what makes sense for you. So could you leave a comment and let me know, do you have insurance? If you don't have insurance, we won't shame you, but I am going to say that I highly recommend it because if you drop your equipment or something happens, I don't want you to call me crying. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just dropped my $3,000 lens. Well, was it insured? Because if it was, then it's going to be $250 to replace it. But if it was not, then it's going to be $3,000 to replace it. So I think this is pretty important. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next video.